don't do what they're supposed to do.
Why aren't we going with my main man that I've been saying to go with?
O'Connell
and Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell's brought up once again. Do you think Aiden O'Connell should get a start here, man? Do you think it's time to see Aiden O'Connell? Does he make that big of a difference? I told you guys how I feel about it. I don't think that it's a big difference. I think that Aiden O'Connell is a lateral move. We're just getting some strengths here, some weaknesses here, but it all comes out to about the same thing. We got two backups as quarterback. That's how I see it, man. Shout out to Westwood. I would have offered Tay for Ayuk when the Niners came calling for Jacoby. I mean, man, I would hope to get a little bit more than Ayuk, but yeah, I mean, why not, right? Ayuk and something else. Shout out to DeMarcus Webb. Been different regimes, same results, bad business decisions. Damn right, man. Shout out to Westwood. Ayuk and Jacoby would have been a nice duo. Yeah, that would have been pretty nasty, man. Let's see. Ask me Monday morning. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Things change on a week-to-week basis. I get it, man. Shout out to another Raiders podcast. The way the Panthers played, they could have beat any team. They were us. How going into Baltimore. Man, rewrite that, man. Rewrite that, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for the support, bro. Jay and Galindo AOC has faster reads. Okay. Shout out to Ben Bad. He doesn't get happy feet. Okay, yeah. He's a lot less slower, but you know, he seems a little bit more poised in the pocket. I'll give you that. Let's see. D182 AOC almost threw 2 picks in that short time he played last game. That is true. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. And like I'm not really wouldn't get too excited if AOC is named the starter, because we're gonna get a little bit of the same, just different kind of outcomes, but the same outcome at the same time, if that makes any sense. Bronx Raider AOC after the Browns game. That's kind of what I'm suspecting too, to be honest with you. Mondo Reyes, are you dropping balls too and ain't dropping much ain't doing much than Tay? Yeah, it's pretty. You're right. Shout out to Jane and Galindo with the wet blanket. We can't get excited at all. It's hard, bro. It's hard these days. Pause, but yeah, it's definitely difficult to get excited for this team for sure. Let me see. Let's let it ride. Oh shoot. Let's see.
Fucking receiver out there. He's making cuts and moves on safeties and shaking them. And I'm like, why isn't this guy getting the ball 10 times a game?
So he's talking about our guy, Michael Mayer. We need to be – first thing they need to do is get to him early and often. That needs to happen. We need to find Michael Mayer. He needs to be not Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. Sorry, Brock Bowers. Even Michael Mayer, too. We got 2 stud tight ends that we're not targeting nearly enough. We have to do that. We have to make that happen. But let's see what JB has to say. Continue.
And I'm just trying to say, go with Aiden O'Connell. And I think you're going to see a change.
Hey, they're seeing something in practice, obviously, that's showing that's telling them otherwise. They're seeing.
Minshew's not a league year starter. He's a fucking backup.
He's a vet, though. He's a
backup.
Pro Bowl last year.
Isn't that going against your Andy Dalton take?
Pro Bowl last year.
Isn't that going against your Andy Dalton take? He's a backup.
Hey, here's what's in.
That's exactly what we're saying. Now, is Aiden O'Connell starter? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But JB says he's a backup. This is not a guy that we need to be relying on. We need to give the keys to the franchise. But let's let it ride out, man. Let's let this continue.
Interesting about this. If you're a single man, right? The woman you spend the most money with should be the one you want to spend the most time with, right? So here's what here's what I understand about the Raiders, and this all falls back to Getsy. Was it Luke? Is his first name?
Yeah,
Luke Getsy, the OC there in Vegas.
Yeah.
Why in the hell would you draft Brock Bowers in the first round and not have him be the focal point of the offensive passing game?
Whoo! Bingo! Right on the money, man. You're gonna draft a guy, a tight end, who is probably one of the best players coming out of this draft. You draft him in a move that's not necessarily a need. We have glaring needs at tackle, glaring needs at quarterback. You trade up and get a guy. Glaring needs at corner at the time. Now, Jacorian Bennett's been balling out, so we got to give him that. But there were glaring needs in March and April where we were looking at like a tight end. Why are we getting a tight end? That's a problem, a bad business decision. And especially another bad business decision if you're not going to highlight and headline this guy and target him at least 10 to 15 times, especially a guy at his caliber. We've seen Brock Bowers. When he gets cooking, he gets cooking. And we need to give the ball to him a lot more. So Shaun King is right. Let's let this continue.
Or at least secondary to Devontae Adams. You know, JB, I'll be honest. I text the coach from Atlanta. I sent him a YouTube clip of Kyle Pitts' highlights. I said, why in the hell would y'all have a first-round pick with this much talent and make him invisible in your passing game?
Let's pause right there, man. Shout out to Sanjit T. He says, did you see Jaden last night? I think Sanders is similar. Losing sucks, but if we get Sanders, it will stop. I like Sanders. He throws the long ball very well. He holds on to the ball too long. That's my only problem with him. But, man, yeah, he can get the ball downfield. If we don't locate a quarterback next year, there's going to be a big problem. But in 26, I'm looking at the quarterback from Tennessee as well, Nico Iamaleava or whatever his last name is. He is excellent, but we gotta clean things up with Sanders. Now the problem is Shedeur going to be open to coaching from a guy that's not his father? That's the only problem that I'm kind of worried about with that one. But we'll see. Stay tuned. Shout out to Peyton Hurd. I understand why Brock isn't the focal point because we have Tay, but he needs to be a focal point. Him and Tay should have at least 10 targets each. Yeah, no doubt. That's what it has to be, man. He's a first-round pick for a reason. Let's headline him. Shout out to Ben Bad. They were thinking Minshew would move, but he's not moving away. Yeah, this dude's running right into the traffic. Shout out to Westwood. Sanders is on the table. Dion already met with Mark Davis, and Shedeur is currently being mentored by Brady. Stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. Jekyll and Hyde, salute to you, man. Thanks for popping in. Your name here. Last year, I feel like we had a decent thing going with AP and Champ Kelly. Those two pieces should have stayed the same and never should have picked up Getsy. Yeah. And I was really a fan of Champ Kelly and AP running things together. I think that was a great dynamic. They had some good synergy, but it doesn't fit. I don't know. There's something that I don't like about Tom Telesco, maybe because he was a former Charger, but I'm not really sold on what he can bring to the table yet. But it's early. He hasn't done much for me to say I don't like him, but I was never a fan of the hire in the first place, to be honest with you, along with Getsy. Shout out to Peyton Hurd. Only exception to not getting a quarterback in 2025 is if you get Arch. That's it. Yeah. I mean, go check out Nico from Tennessee, man. That dude's nice too. He's real nice, man. Shout out to Can't Get Right. I think he's a locker room cancer. Shedeur. I don't know, man. He shows some grit. He doesn't seem like he's he is it's hard to say, man. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, if he does land with the Raiders, that's not the case. Desert Raider, no thanks to Shedeur. Me mentality. Well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree in that situation. So I hear you on that one. Shout out to Jekyll and Hyde. That was my only concern with Sanders also. I think Daddy will interfere too much and probably doesn't want his son to the Raiders. Well, he's already been out there saying he wouldn't mind Shedeur going to the Raiders as well as Shiloh. So I don't know, man. I think he'd be all right with his boys coming to Vegas. Been bad. Me and Desert don't need a me player. Oh yeah. We'll see. Yeah, everybody's saying hell no to Shedeur. There's some good guys out there, some good quarterbacks. Drew Lars coming out, Fafita's coming out from Arizona. There's a lot of guys at quarterback that can really get the job done as well. So that we'll see. Shout out to DeMarcus Webb. Big Mike, who we like to see as the OC moving forward if they get rid of Getsy. Philbin's called some plays. That's a guy that we can look at and kind of replace him, and maybe he can unlock some stuff. But the problem is when you do that mid-season, you're now reducing your play calling to a lot, because we're going to see another situation where we have, a guy who wasn't originally the offensive coordinator calling plays, and that could really reduce us even more. So to me, I think we should, you know, kind of ride this one out, man. Let's see. Shout out to Jekyll and Hyde. Didn't realize he was being mentored by Brady. Hey, Westwood, I didn't know that either, man. Thanks for the heads up on that one. I didn't know. Now, Travis Hunter, on the other hand, Hug D's, absolutely right, man. 100%, man. But that's going to probably take us for us to be the #1 overall pick. I don't think we're that bad. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's see. Let's ride this thing out.
The Falcons go out of their way not to throw Kyle Pitts the ball. And the one time they do, he go for 50 yards. Like, I don't get why you invest these high draft picks in these off-brand positions, and then when you get them, you utilize them like they're a 5th or later round draft pick.
Yeah.
Like, why in the hell take, and I know it wasn't Raheem them that drafted him, but you got a kid that plays tight end, tries the top 10. You're the Raiders. You got a kid that's a top 10 draft pick at tight end. He should have a minimum. I would fire the coordinator. If I was sit in the room with the coordinator, I say, listen, go get all the Gronkowski film, go get all the prime Travis Kelce film, go get all the Tony Gonzalez
damn
film.
straight, man.
And every game when we get on that damn bus after the game, this kid better have those level targets.
Sean, I don't.
Man, Shaun King was talking that shit this whole time, man. He's right on the money, man. Let's ride this thing out.
There's any creativity at all anymore in offense? You got Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers. Right. I would be in fucking 12 personnel with Zaire in the backfield, and I would be having Devontae isolated. I'd be in 12 trips, by the way.
All right. So this is Coach JB. He got into his bag with this one. He's saying 12 personnel trips formation, man. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to show you what that would look like. Let me see. I'm going to pull up the screen once again. You know what? Matter of fact, we'll skip that part. So 12 personnel trips, meaning you have a wide receiver on one side and you have two. You have one tight end on the line, one stacked off the H-back, so you have a trip situation. And then you would have on the other side just Devontae Adams. You could run that type of stuff and really do some damage if you call it right. And JB is going to get more into detail with that.
And I would make sure that I am putting either a safety or a fucking lockdown corner. Go ahead and give me Devontae Adams versus any corner in football. I'm taking him all day long. I'm throwing back shoulder on his ass. I'm throwing slant. I'm throwing hits. I'm throwing smoke. I'm throwing deep fade. I'm throwing all that shit on that guy one-on-one with two tight ends that are better than most.
Pause. So this is coming from Coach JB. This is a guy who was a JUCO head coach legend, right? But he's never coached at a D1 college. He's never coached in the NFL. How is Coach JB, a guy who has never seen the NFL yet, already have better plans for our offense? I said earlier this year that, you know, in order for this whole Getsy thing to work out, he's going to have to revolutionize this offense, you know, headline 2 tight ends and make that your focal point. Isolate the situation with Devontae Adams and really do damage. We have seen nothing like that from Getsy, and that's the problem. Meanwhile, we got a guy over in Pittsburgh in Justin Fields, and he's tearing it up right now to an extent. They're 3-0. I see the common denominator. I think that maybe it was Getsy all along, man. But let me get to the chat, man. Let's see. Wasn't it 29 minutes before Brock was even targeted on Sunday? Shaking my effing head. Yeah, that's a big problem. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Have to get out of the run on the first, second down, and get shorter yardage conversions on third. Yeah, it's definitely the running game that's really hindering this stuff too. Shout out to S. Dot with the $5 haymaker. Denver Broncos versus Las Vegas Raiders, Week 4 highlights. Watch at 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I'm gonna keep that in mind. But shout out to you for the $5 haymaker. Let's see. It says Hug D's says we give Zeus a lot of flack for no vision, but he's running to a wall each week. I don't get it. Then again, our D-line giving opposing running backs 100 yards per game. Guess maybe I do get it. It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. But shout out to S.187 with another haymaker, $10 this time. Says we have a 6-man offensive line with a fullback, all daylight in the run game. Use Mayer as a fullback and Parham at tight end. Swap out Whitehair for Meredith. You trying to go jumbo, man? For Meredith, 5 to 10 yards every time. You know what the problem is too, though? Running the wide zone. Unfortunately, Zamir White isn't the type of running back that can be successful in this offense, in that offensive scheme. He's a power guy, a north-south type of guy. He needs a hole already to be looking at, and he hits it. With the zone scheme, the wide zone, you got to be patient. You got to use your feet, sitting there and be comfortable with being in traffic. And then as soon as the lane opens up, you hit it there. Zamir White isn't that type of guy. That's the only problem with that. And I think that maybe, Madison needs to be the guy moving forward because of that. And if that's the case, let's try it out, man. I'm willing to try anything at this point, man. Shout out to George Hubbard. Why not draw more plays for the tight end? Exactly. Coach JB was just saying it. Headline these 2 tight ends. These 2 tight ends are dynamic. They have the possibility of being the best duo in the NFL. Better even than the Ravens. And we're not doing it. And that's, it baffles my mind, man. Baffles my mind. Westwood, all of our players are pass catchers. Build the offense based off of the passing game and just roll the dice. They're just scared because they didn't beat Kansas City that way. That's a good point. And I think that, you can use the passing game to run the ball. You can do that. That is a possibility. A lot of people think of it, it goes, do the run to start the pass, but you can do it the other way around. Let's see. Irvin Hunter. Getsy was an OC on a 1-16 team. We traded our best offensive weapons to Green Bay, and he went away from the quarterback that have success last season. Bad business decisions, man. Bad business decisions. Let's see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't the Raiders call power runs when Zeus is in and it just don't work? I don't see Zeus running much east-west. Yeah, he doesn't. He's a north-south guy. And as far as I know, they're not calling any power. It's more of like, they're still running the zone. But there might be some power concepts. I'd have to do some film study on that one. But we'll I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. Let's see. Jekyll and Hyde, I was initially not a big Madison fan, but we signed him and he's playing well and I'm warming up to him. Yeah, he's scored the last 3 games. So, ride the hot hand at this point. But let's let this run out, man. Let's let this run out. We're almost wrapping this up with this one.
And I'm just telling you, to me, we got a major creativity issue with offensive coordinators in the NFL.
JB, otherwise, why draft them in the first round?
It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes
sense. And Kyle Pitts in the top 10 if you're just going to put them in traditional tight end spots.
Hey.
Bingo. I couldn't say it any better, man. I couldn't say it any better.
Drop the old line or something.
So, yeah. So that was what JB, Shaun King, and Smitty had to say about the situation. What do you guys think about that whole thing? We're bad business decisions. We're not using the tight ends properly. We're not using the running backs properly. The offensive coordinator shouldn't have been our offensive coordinator. GM, maybe that was the wrong decision. There's a lot of things that led up to this. What do you guys think as a whole? I'm going to run to the comments.
Next 6 months. And that's just do one thing and one thing only, win. And I want winners. Winners never stop working. Kick in the front door and let's get this bad boy rolling.
I got the contract. This is one of them hits now. Heard back from Earth, we just shot a few of my ships down. It's safe to say I'm totally pissed. Wow. My cloaking devices just malfunction. Guess it's time for a sit down. This is the problem I got with humans, mostly the common man. Constantly fucking with energy they don't understand. Always thinking they got the upper hand. The G-forces for my maneuvers can snap your spine like a rubber band. bang. I shouldn't waste my time, they ain't half as nice. Put a Red Bull in your coffin so your ghost can have wings in the afterlife. Let's rock and roll like a belly dancer's rhinestone. It was my idea to shake the pineal gland like a pine cone. My thoughts create hurricanes, tornadoes, and cyclones. A punch for me is like an avalanche of granite and limestone. You live here, now this is my home. I neuralize both your retinas, you wake up staring at the screen of your iPhone. Confused by the light plus the high tone. And now we connected from the microchip I placed next to your thigh bone. It's hard to understand cause you're mind blown, but I gotta cut communication. Your government just scrambled their spy drones.
That voice speaking Sumerian, the oldest language.